Another week, another UFC fight card this weekend. We have Manon Fiorot versus Aaron Blanchfield, UFC Fight Night. Blanchfield versus Fiorot. So yeah, I'm just going to break down the whole card. You guys know the drill. So we have the first fight of the night, which is Nate Landwehr versus Jamal Emmers. Now, this is an interesting fight. I'm a big Nate the Train fan. I love Nate the Train a lot. Like, I'm a big fan of Nate the Train. But this is a bit of a nightmare matchup for the Train. Yeah, this is a really bad matchup for Nate Landwehr here. He was getting Pat Sabatini, who is just a one-dimensional grappler, doesn't really have much on the feet, bad chin. Now he's fighting Jamal Emmers, who has elite takedown defense. You can't take this fucking guy down. I think the only time he's ever been taken down was briefly by Jack Jenkins, and I don't even know if they counted that. He had a really close fight with Jack Jenkins, had a close fight, well, not even a close fight, had a shutout performance against Kusan Ashkabov. Knocked down Pat Sabatini, was on his way to beating Pat Sabatini until he decided to go heel hook for heel hook against Sabatini. Almost beat Giga Shikadze. You know, he's beat a lot of fucking good fighters. Beat Corey Sandhagen on the regional scene. Beat Alexander Hernandez. He's just a really good fighter. He's very super underrated in my opinion, is Jamal Emmers. The guy's really good. And the thing you'll notice with a lot of Nate Landwehr fights, he gets hurt a lot, he gets dropped a lot. You know, he beat David Onama, but fucking the damage he took in that fight is insane. The fact that he survived those knockdowns in that first round, I thought he was fucking dead. But he just it's like he woke up as he was getting knocked down, which was crazy to see. But I'm going to take Jamal Emmers here. I think he's going to knock out Nate Landwehr. If you can't take Jamal Emmers down, you're going to get cracked, you know, if you're Nate Landwehr. Nate Landwehr doesn't have the greatest chin. He recovers well, but he does get hurt a lot. He's not too powerful. He's not too technical of a striker either. But yeah, he has got some openings, I guess, but nothing that I can imagine is going to be too dangerous for Jamal Emmers. I can't see him hurting Jamal. I can't see Nate Landwehr hurting Jamal Emmers too much on the feet. He's not like a powerful guy. He's not like a crazy good striker. It's going to be a striking fight. I'm more than certain about this. Jamal Emmers has good cardio as well. Like, he's not like he's a gassy fighter either. So like, this just feels like a nightmare matchup. Yeah. It's just a fucking horrible matchup for him, man. But yeah, I'm gonna take Jamal Emmers here I'm gonna go first round KO. I think he catches him early. So yeah, that's how I'm gonna take this fight. I love Nate Landwehr though, so I won't be upset if he can pull off this upset. Well, is he the favourite? Let me see, is he the favourite? Yeah, Nate Landwehr is the favourite here, but like, he shouldn't be favoured in this fight. This is a nightmare matchup for him. Then we have Melissa Gato versus Victoria Dudovakova. I'm going to go with Victoria Dudovakova here. She's impressed me so far. Didn't impress me her hygiene, that she came in like with staff on her ass or whatever it was. She had like some staff in some weird place. I can't quite remember where it was. But she's looked really good in her UFC fights so far. So yeah, I'm just going to predict her to beat Melissa Gato. That's all I'm going to give you. Then we have Ubo Aslan versus Anton Takali. Or is it Takaj? I always fucking fuck his name up, eh? But anyway, we got Aslan versus Anton. Number 2, this is a rematch. But I'm actually going to be taking the loser of the first fight, which is Ubo Aslan. He was winning that first fight against Anton. You know, he dropped him, he had hurt him from memory. He was really close to winning, and then he makes a mistake, gives up his back, and gets choked out by Anton. I don't think that happens in this fight. We've seen his durability's gone a little bit as well. He's been knocked out cold by Tyson Pedro, been beaten up, been subbed. You know, he's not going to be feeling very confident in himself. I know he calls himself the pleasure man. I know he loves himself, but like, Jesus Christ, man, this guy's taking a fucking beating in his UFC fights. From an undefeated fighter now being on a 3-fight losing streak is like fucking crazy. Bit of a crazy turn of events for Anton Takash, whatever he wants to call himself. So I'm going to take Ibu Aslan here. I think he's going to knock out Anton. He's a powerful guy. He's a big dude for the weight class. We've seen that he can hurt Anton in the past. And that was 4 years ago. Since then, he hasn't beat stellar competition, but he did beat Paulo Renato Jr. I can't say that he's really gone on and beat the fucking killers on the regional scene. 6-2, 18-21, 5-9. Then he beat a 12-2 guy. These aren't stellar guys that he's beat, but it's better than Anton, who's getting the shit kicked out of him in the UFC. He's taking some bad damage. So I'm going to take Aslan here to KO him, but I guess we'll see what happens. Then we have Julia Arce versus Herbert Burns. I'm going with Julia Arce here. I'm so sorry, I'm definitely butchering his name. I forget how to pronounce his name. But this is his return to the featherweight division. Obviously, he was contending at bantamweight for a bit. Now he's moved back up a weight class. It was probably a good move for him. His rise back up didn't go too well. He did have that fight with Daniel Santos where he won, but he did miss weight in that fight. Oh no, sorry. Yeah, he did miss weight. He was 136.5, and he got beat up by Montel Jackson. So he's a good striker. He's a very good striker. He's a good featherweight, man. He beat Dan Ige back in the day. Beat Daniel Timur. Knocked out a Rosa. He's got some good wins as a featherweight. And Herbert Burns, there is a clear path to victory against him. It's his gas tank. He gasses out quite a lot. I think we're going to see him gas here. He also missed weight against... I don't even think that's true, right? Oh, yeah, he missed weight by a crazy amount as well against Pineda. So this is two guys on the opposite side of the weight cutting spectrum. This is Julio, who, was a big bantamweight moving up, and then Herbert Burns is a big featherweight who can't, he's a lightweight who, doesn't want to fight at lightweight, so he's cutting a lot of weight in this matchup. I think Herbert Burns, I'm going to see him get beat up in this fight. Bad gas tank. I think once he gasses, I think he's going to get caught with something on the feet and get knocked out here. So yeah, that's how I'm going. Then we have Angel Pacheco versus Colin Loughran. Now this is a tough one to pick as well, because obviously Pacheco had a good fight against Danny Silva, but at the same time he took a lot of damage in that fight. Another thing you got to factor in here, this is his first time fighting at bantamweight. Most of his fights, he's had one bantamweight fight in 2013 as an amateur, but he's had welterweight fights, featherweight fights. He's more recently fought at lightweight than he has bantamweight. Now he's moving back down to bantamweight at 32. That is interesting. That he's moving down. Makes me think, why was he not fighting at that weight class in the first place? How is he going to look at bantamweight? That's something we don't know about this guy. How is he going to look? Colin Loughran isn't too bad. I don't think losing to Taylor Lappius is a bad thing. I know he lost to Farad Basharat, but Farad Basharat is a fucking good fighter. So I don't really rate that loss too badly. I think he had a bit of a comeback in the third round, if I remember correctly. He sort of just got fucked over because Taylor Lappius is a big step up from Dylan Hazan or Luke Shanks. It was a big step up for his UFC debut to get an 18-3 opponent. I am actually going to take Colin Loughran here. I think he's going to take a decision. I think he can wrestle here. I think he can sort of manhandle his way. He's going to be strong. We don't know how strong Angel's going to be as a bantamweight. So yeah, I'm going to take Colin Loughran here over Angel Pacheco. Then we have Conor Matthews versus Dennis Bazooka. I'm gonna take. This is like a really low level fight, like respectfully. So it's hard to like predict how this one's gonna go. But I'm gonna take Dennis Bazooka in this fight. I think Dennis Bazooka can win this fight. I know he got starched by Jamal Emmers, but that's Jamal Emmers, super underrated fighter. Conor Matthews not on that level. I think Dennis Bazooka could just land shot after shot on Conor Matthews. He has no striking defense. I know he's more of a grappler, but I can see him landing a lot of shots on the feet here, rocking him, taking him down. Like he's not. Like this is the hard fight. Conor Matthews got that dog in him, but I'm going to take Dennis Bazooka to get this one done. Conor Matthews' level of competition is just awful, man. 0-7, Stacey Anderson, 1-8, Rob Fuller, 2-1. You know that's his best opponent pretty much before the Dana White Contender Series fight. He fought the GOAT. He fought the absolute fucking GOAT that is Jay Ellis. 15-97, the fucking GOAT of MMA. I think Jay Ellis has now moved to 16-109. So like, congratulations to Jay Ellis on that impressive record that will never be beaten. You know, shout out to Jay Ellis, man. Shout out to Jay Ellis. Then he beat 1-2 Josh Hardy. Then he lost to Francis Marshall. Then beat an 8-4 guy. And then he did somehow beat an 10-0 guy under Contender Series. So that was a good win for him. But I'm taking Dennis Bazooka by decision. I think he can just land a bunch of shots on him, probably get him down after a while, and then eke his way to a decision. Then we have Andre Petroski versus Jacob Malkoun. Now I was thinking early on, I'm going to take Andre Petroski in this fight. I was thinking that was really a thought that was going through my head. I was thinking, you know what? Maybe he just goes out there and he KOs Jacob Malkoun, and maybe that is still a possibility. But I'm actually going to take Jacob Malkoun in this fight. I know Andre Petroski has a power advantage here. I know he's big. I know he can probably take down Jacob Malkoun, but Jacob Malkoun has a big cardio edge in this fight. I think he's a more technical striker as well. He's got a good jab. People shit on Jacob Malkoun for not being the most entertaining fighter, but he's got a really jabby jab on him. You know, he's throwing that thing, jab. Like he's got a good double jab as well. He's always throwing that thing out there. Like he's always throwing that jab out there all the time. I think they got a similar reach here as well, I believe. I think they have the same reach. Yeah, they got the same reach. If this fight plays out on the feet, I think Jacob Malkoun is jabbing him up. Even he jabs to the body quite a lot. If there's grappling, I think Andre Petroski can take down Jacob Malkoun, but at the same time, I think Jacob Malkoun can take down Andre Petroski. They're both very good grapplers. Jacob Malkoun was like I think he wrestled, I think he was an ACCC, like Australia champion or Oceania champion. Jacob Malkoun has a lot of jiu-jitsu credentials. So I do like him to get this fight done over Andre Petroski, man. I really do think he's going to get this one done. He was beating up Cody Brundage before that illegal back of the head shot, which, you know, Cody Brundage, he did milk that quite a lot. And let's not forget, Jacob Malkoun was taking down Brendan Allen. He was taking him down at will. And Andre Petroski is coming off a KO loss. Now, I'm not saying that means Jacob Malkoun's going to come in there and just absolutely starch him. Definitely not. But, like, even against Gerald Mearshot, he was getting pieced up on the feet a bit. I can just see Jacob Malkoun jabbing up his face a bit. Now, I'm not super confident on this pick. I was thinking Andre Petroski, but I am going to go with Jacob Malkoun at this point. Then we have Ferner Jandiroba. Ooh, I like my accent. Oh, fuck yeah. You call that a knife. This is a knife, mate. Like that really brought out the Aussie accent there a little bit. So yeah, we have Werner Jandiroba versus Lupita Godinez versus Bill fucking hell, I was about to go straight to the next fight. I'm going to go with Lupita Godinez here. I know Werner Jandiroba is good. She is a very good women's fighter. She has some pretty solid wins. She did beat Marina Rodriguez, which is a really good win. But I'm going to take Lupita. Lupita is just tough. I think she can keep the fight standing. She can jab her up. She's a much better striker, in my opinion. And that's pretty much it. That's all I'm going to go with for there. So that's my prediction on that fight. Then we have Bill Algeo versus Kyle Nelson. I'm going with Bill Algeo here. Good cardio. He's long for the weight class. He's not powerful. He's not like a powerful guy. You know, I don't think he's going to go out there and just chin Kyle Nelson with like one punch. But I do like him to get this one done. He's got a longer reach. He's actually the older man here, which is weird to think about, looking at Kyle Nelson. Kyle Nelson's on a good streak. He did beat Fernando Padilla. He beat Blake Builder, but these guys aren't really great levels of competition. Then he's been chinned a bunch of times. I just see Bill Algeo putting on a pace here in this fight. I think he can get the fight down. And I think he can eventually get like a ground and pound TKO here over Carl Nelson. So that's how I'm actually going to take this fight to go. Maybe even a submission. But yeah, I think he's going to get some sort of ground finish in this fight. I think Bill Algeo is going to get this one done over Carl Nelson. Then we have, and excuse me for this pronunciation, Nursultan Ruzabayev, hope I pronounced that, versus Cedric Dumas. Cedric Dumas. Okay, so we got... I'm going with Nursultan. He's going to knock him out. Maybe not knock him out. Maybe I'll make that sound a bit too easy. But I think he is going to beat Dumas. Dumas has looked awful, man. He hasn't looked great in these two fights. He beat Cody Brundage because he didn't want to be there. Cody Brundage didn't want to be in there. And then he arguably lost to Abu Azaitar. It was like a back and forth fight where they both looked horrendous, man. He lost to Josh Fremd. He got dropped by Josh Fremd as well, which ain't a good look. Then he got subbed. Sultan, I think he's got like a... They don't even have his... What the fuck? Why don't they have his reach on here? He's a UFC fighter. You'd think they'd have his reach. Did they not have it? They should have his reach right. Tapology. It's weird. I'm pretty sure this guy has a long reach though, from memory. I'm sorry, I gotta go and check. I have to go and check his fight against Bruno Ferreira. I have to know his reach. Because his reach was gonna have like, it was gonna be a big factor into this fight. I know Dumas has a big reach, but like 76, so he has a 76-inch reach. So that's a decent reach on him. Bunch of knockouts on his record, lots of subs. He's beat decent guys as well. Like, he's not just beating scrubs. Like, obviously he's got to have fucking many fights. He's got modified rules bouts, a few of them on his record. Actually, it looks like only one. So there's another win as well you got to factor in there. Like, the guy's got a lot of experience. Most of his losses are by decision, besides one Kimura. And a knockout, but that was like at lightweight. This guy was a lightweight at one point. Okay, that was welterweight. But still, I like Nursultan in this fight. Just not because I think Nursultan's like the next big thing or anything like that. I remember some people were picking him against Kyle Machado. Sorry, not Kyle Machado. Caio Borrello. I didn't understand that love there. I thought that was a bit of a reactionary thing to have. But I think he's going to beat Dumas in this fight. I think he's a bit better everywhere. He's big as well for the weight class. Well, not big for the weight class, but he's a tall guy. Dumas does have a reach advantage, but like his striking looked awful, man. It looks horrible. Like he looks better on the regional scene, like just eye test wise, than he has in the UFC. It's like he decreased while he was in the UFC or something. Like, he generally looks worse. But I'm going to take Nursultan here. I'm rooting for Nursultan as well, because like obviously Dumas is like got some accusations against him, you know, and he just seems like a bit of a dick, right? Like, he wanted people to pay for interviews with him. Like, who the fuck does he think he is? But yeah, whatever, man. I'm going with Nursultan here. I think he's going to knock out Cedric Dumas. We've seen him get rocked before, but he got dropped by Josh Fremd, man. Josh Fremd doesn't have power. He's not a power striker like that, and he fucking knocked you down. Like, that's not a good look. So yeah, I'm taking Nursultan. Gets one done. I think he's going to catch him on the feet. Sort of similar to how he did Bruno Ferreira. Then we have Chidi Ninchikwi versus Reese McKee. Now, this is an interesting one. Chidi Ninchikwi doesn't really have the greatest cardio. He just doesn't. His cardio is not really that great. And now he's moving down a weight class, which is interesting. But I think he's going to win this fight. But Reese McKee's tough. You don't really see Reese McKee go out there and get absolutely like starched in the first round on the feet. Yeah, he got finished in the first by Hamza Chimaev. That is a bit different. He did lose to Tim Barnett, but that was like lightweight. I am gonna go Chitin Chikwi here. I think he's gonna get Reese McKee out of there early. I can just see him landing some big shots. See him clinching him up, kneeing up his body, and then like finishing him with an elbow off the break in the first round. So yeah, I'm gonna go Chitin Chikwi in this fight by first round KO. Then we have Bruno Silva versus Chris Weidman. Oh, man, I'm gonna fucking do it. I might do it, man. I think I can't though. Fuck. Oh, big part of me really wants to go with Chris Weidman in this fight, man. A big fucking part of me really wants to pick Chris Weidman here. He's got a fucking hell of a shot in this fight. I'm being serious. Chris Weidman, he can really fucking win this fight. This is like, on paper, a really good matchup for Chris Weidman. Bruno Silva does horrible against strikers. You know, he doesn't do very well against strikers at all, man. Against grapplers, sorry. We've seen against GM3, couldn't get anything going. He's too worried about the takedowns. He's fucking petrified. He gets dropped. Against Brendan Allen, he's petrified. He gets dropped. Against strikers, he looks great. But against people who are actually going to take him down, he looks fucking dog shit. Respectfully. Like, it's just his style, man. But, like... But he did beat Andrew Sanchez, who's a grappler. I'm going to take Bruno Silva here, but I'm not... If I'm a betting man, I'd sprinkle a little bit on Chris Weidman in this fight. He always looked awful. But stylistically, this is a fight he should win, but I feel like he's just way past it. He's been chinned a bunch. He looked pretty bad against Brad Tavares. Obviously broke his leg against Uriah Hall. Got KO'd, and then got brutally beat up by Luke Rockhold. So he's got a lot of damage under him. He's almost 40 years old. So yeah, I am going to take Bruno Silva, but like, this is much closer than people are expecting it to be, in my opinion. If Chris Weidman wins, I wouldn't be surprised, but I'm going to pick Bruno Silva just because he is still much younger. And he does have KO power, and Chris Weidman's chin is a bit short. I know he went to a decision with Brad Tavares, but that's just Brad Tavares not being the most powerful guy in the world. Then we have Vicente Luque versus Joaquin Buckley. I'm going to go with Vicente Luque here. I know everyone's hyped up on Buckley, but like, his chin is like such a big worry for every fight I watch of him. Obviously, he's been chinned 4 times in his career. Got chinned by Jackie Gosh. Got chinned by Kevin Holland brutally. Got head kick KO'd by Alessio Di Chirico. And then he got KO'd by Chris Curtis. So obviously his chin's still, the fact he's been KO'd that many times is like pretty fucking wild, man. Only 29 years of age. Down a weight class. I know he's won his last 2 fights. But I feel like Buckley's the type of guy to bring out that old Vicente Luque, like that war mentality. I can just see him landing a left hook on Buckley's chin. Buckley leaves himself to be hit. Now, he can beat Vicente Luque, of course, but look, I see people saying, like, Vicente Luque's washed and all this stuff, and yeah, he's not the same Luque, but like Buckley's not like elite in my opinion. I don't think he's like an elite level fighter. Maybe he can prove me wrong here. Maybe at welterweight he is, but like I think he got chinned by Jackie Gosh at welterweight. I'm pretty sure that was a welterweight fight, right? Let me just check that. Yeah, that was at welterweight. So he's been chinned as a welterweight. So it's not like his chin's uncrackable at welterweight. It's not like these guys. I mean, Chris Curtis is a welterweight as well, pretty much. I know his whole UFC career has been a middleweight, but he was a career welterweight. He's taken a lot of damage. He's been knocked out a few times. Both these guys have taken a lot of damage. I just hope this is a good fight. I could see either of these guys just wrestling the other. Maybe not Luke wrestling Buckley early, but I could see him eventually just wrestling him in. But I think he has a good shot here to knock out Buckley, man. Buckley's chin just always worries me in these fights. But yeah, I'm going to take Luke over Buckley. Then we have the main event, Aaron Blanchfield versus Manon Fiorot. I'm taking Aaron Blanchfield in this fight. I think she can... I just think she can fucking wrestle fuck everybody in that division, man. I think she can really just take everybody down. Like, I just do. That's all I really got to say, man. Like, I just think she's going to take her down. She's going to take her down. I don't think she can really get much going on the feet. Even on the feet, Aaron Blanchfield can land some big shots. I mean, you also got to fact in here, Manon Fiorot is 34 years old. Like, there's a 10-year age difference between these two, pretty much. Almost. Like, that's fucking crazy, right? That is pretty crazy to see in this women's weight class. You know, the younger fighters do a lot better in these sorts of positions. Erin Blanchfield, she showed some good striking against Talia Santos as well, if I remember. Against Jessica Andrade, she let her hands go as well. Like, she's got some decent hands. She's not, like, useless on the feet. She's much more well-rounded. So I'm going to take Aaron Blanchfield to get this fight done over Manon Fiorot, and I'm going to go by a decision. Yeah, I feel like this feels like a fight that will go to a decision, to be honest. So I'm going to take Aaron Blanchfield, just combo and take down her way. I feel like it's going to be a 1-2 into a takedown multiple times, getting the takedown, then some ground and pound, and getting her way to victory in the main event here over Manon Fiorot, and getting the winner of Shevchenko versus Grasso. Or Grasso versus Shevchenko, I should say. So yeah, anyway, they're my picks for this card. Hopefully this isn't like a fucking bore like the last week's card, especially for the last two fights. But I have more hope for this card than I do the last one, at least. So let's go MMA gods. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like this video. Obviously, long video, I know, but, you know, just watch the whole video, I reckon. Anyway, yeah, cheers for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.